Without saying a single word, you already know who they are. Have you ever felt it? That silent recognition, a glance, a gesture, a presence, and something inside you whispers the truth, louder than any spoken sentence. In this journey, I will guide you to understand the language beyond words, a language of the soul, of energy, of truth, a language that doesn't need permission to be heard because your heart already knows. This message is not here to judge others, nor to create fear or suspicion. It is here to awaken you, to remind you that your soul is far more intelligent than you think. The goal is not to expose others, but to empower yourself, to sharpen your awareness, so you may walk in this world with clarity, with confidence, and with compassion. Because the truth is simple. The soul recognizes what the eyes cannot always see. Words can be polished, rehearsed, and carefully chosen, but the body never lies. It is the most ancient form of communication, the one we all understood long before we learned language. And if you pay attention, you will realize that every movement, every gesture, every pause is a silent confession. Notice how someone enters a space. Do they walk in with shoulders upright, chest open, eyes softly scanning the room? Or do they shrink inward, trying to disappear even as they stand in plain sight? Confidence, fear, pride, insecurity, these things leak through posture more than through words. A smile may convince your ears, but the curve of the spine tells your heart the truth. Look at the hands. A person may speak calmly, but if their fingers fidget restlessly or their knuckles whiten from a hidden grip, their body reveals the tension they try to mask. Eyes that dart too quickly or avoid contact altogether are windows into unspoken stories. And when someone's gaze lingers with warmth, without force, without agenda, you feel safety long before you even hear their voice. Think of laughter. True laughter is not just in the mouth, it vibrates through the whole body, eyes crinkling, breath flowing freely, shoulders relaxed. But forced laughter? It dies quickly. It feels hollow. Your intuition notices it instantly. You don't need to analyze it. Your body registers the difference without effort. Even silence speaks. When a person sits in stillness, are they radiating calm presence or restless suppression? The energy of their body tells you everything. Sometimes the most powerful messages are not shouted, not spoken, but carried in the rhythm of a breath, in the heaviness of a sigh, in the stiffness of a jaw trying not to tremble. And here is the secret. Your own body is already fluent in this language. You have always understood it. You don't need a book. You don't need training. You only need to remember. Pay attention. Trust the quiet signals, because the body speaks a truth that words can never fully hide. Beyond the visible body, there is something subtler, yet far more powerful, an energy field that surrounds every human being. Some call it an aura, some call it vibration, some simply call it presence. Whatever the name, you already know what it feels like. You have walked into a room and felt instantly uplifted without anyone speaking to you. You have also met someone who drained you the moment they stood too close. That is not imagination. That is energy. Energy is like fragrance. You cannot see it, but you cannot deny its effect. A person carrying unresolved anger radiates it without opening their mouth. You sense the heaviness, the tension, even if their words sound sweet. In contrast, someone at peace does not need to convince you. They simply carry a quiet harmony that your soul recognizes immediately. Their calm is contagious. You breathe easier around them. Think about those times when you left a conversation feeling exhausted, even though nothing harsh was said, or when you met someone and, without explanation, you felt comforted, as if you had known them forever. This is the power of energetic exchange. Words are optional because the truth of a person's inner state travels through the invisible field they carry. And here is the beauty. Your soul has always been able to read it. You may not describe it in colors or shapes, but you know when something feels heavy, when it feels light, when it feels safe, or when it feels dangerous. This awareness is not superstition. It is sensitivity. It is your natural radar built into your very being. Some people try to mask their energy with charm, with practiced gestures, with carefully chosen words, but no mask can cover the vibration of the heart. Pretending kindness while carrying bitterness will always leak through, and true warmth can never be hidden, no matter how quiet or reserved a person may appear. So trust what you feel. When your spirit contracts, listen. When your heart expands, honor it. Energy does not lie, and your soul is fluent in this silent language. Without words, without explanation, you already know who they are, because you can feel the story their presence is telling. Inside you there is a compass that never rusts, never breaks, and never lies. It is your intuition. It does not scream, it does not argue, it whispers. Yet in its softness lies a power far greater than logic. Your intuition is the inner radar that allows you to recognize truth before facts are presented, to sense danger before it arrives, and to feel safety even before a word is spoken. Have you noticed how your body reacts when you meet someone new? Sometimes there is a sudden ease, as if you've known them forever. A warmth, a flow, a sense of safety. And other times, your chest tightens, your stomach knots, or you feel restless without knowing why. These are not random sensations. They are signals delivered by your inner radar, guiding you toward or away from energies that may shape your journey. Logic will often try to dismiss these whispers. It says, don't judge too quickly, don't be silly, you're imagining things. But remember this. Intuition speaks the language of the soul, while logic speaks the language of the mind. Both are valuable, but only one is connected to a truth beyond appearances. And deep down, you already know which voice is more loyal to your well-being. Think about the times you ignored your gut feeling. Perhaps you stayed in a situation that drained you, or trusted someone who eventually showed you their real face. And later, you remembered that subtle unease was already there from the start. Intuition was warning you, but you silenced it. Not out of weakness, but because the world has trained you to doubt yourself. Now imagine what would happen if you stopped doubting, if you allowed yourself to trust that quiet knowing. Your life would shift, decisions would come with more clarity, relationships would be filtered with more wisdom. You would recognize authenticity faster and protect your energy sooner. Intuition is not a gift for the few. It is the birthright of every soul. It is your inner radar, always scanning, always guiding. The question is not whether it's speaking. The question is, are you listening? Because without a single word, your intuition already knows who they are, and it is patiently waiting for you to trust it. Every day, people step into the world wearing masks. Not the kind made of cloth or plastic, but invisible masks carefully shaped by fear, expectation, and survival. Smiles are rehearsed to appear polite, words are polished to gain approval, and even silence is crafted to avoid judgment. And yet, no mask can ever fully hide the truth, because what is hidden on the surface always leaks through the cracks. Think about the polished smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes, or the voice that says, "I'm fine," while the body slouches in quiet defeat. We are trained to accept the mask as reality, but our deeper self knows better. Something inside us whispers, "There's more here. This is not the full story." That whisper is not cynicism, it is awareness. Authenticity, by contrast, feels raw. It may not always be pretty. It may stumble, hesitate, or reveal imperfections, but you recognize it instantly. When someone speaks from their heart, their words carry a frequency that you can feel in your chest. You don't need them to be flawless, you only need them to be real. Because realness is rare, and your soul knows the difference. Masks are not always malicious. Often they are survival tools, armor worn to protect from pain, rejection, or misunderstanding. When you see through someone's mask, it is not an invitation to condemn them, but an opportunity to understand. Yet, recognizing the mask is essential because it frees you from being deceived by appearances. It gives you the choice. Do I engage with the mask, or do I seek the truth beneath it? And here is the paradox. While others wear masks, so do we. The more we learn to drop our own, the more clearly we can see through the disguises of others. Vulnerability sharpens vision. When you dare to live with less pretense, you begin to resonate with authenticity wherever you find it and resist falsehood wherever it appears. So remember this: a mask may fool the eyes, but it can never fool the soul. The essence of a person is always speaking, whether they try to hide it or not. And without a single word, you already know when someone is real, or when you're only being shown their costume. Awareness is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. To recognize someone's truth without them saying a word is not an invitation to judge. It is an invitation to understand. When your intuition tells you who they are, it doesn't mean you must place them in categories of good or bad, worthy or unworthy. It simply means you are awake enough to notice the reality they carry within them. There is a difference between judgment and recognition. Judgment condemns, recognition observes. Judgment closes the heart, recognition opens it. Judgment says, "You are wrong," while recognition says, "I see you as you are." And when you learn to see without judging, you discover freedom, because you are no longer chained to illusions. You respond to truth, not to appearances. For example, you may sense that someone is hiding pain behind their laughter. Awareness of this does not mean you label them as fake. It means you acknowledge the complexity of their humanity. Or you may feel that someone's charm hides a hidden agenda. Recognizing this doesn't mean you must attack or expose them. It simply allows you to choose wisely how much of yourself you share with them. To recognize without judgment is to walk with compassion and strength at the same time. You are not naive because you see clearly, but you are not cruel because you hold space for the truth of others, even if it is uncomfortable. This balance is what allows your spirit to remain both awake and kind. Remember, awareness is never about controlling others. It is about guiding yourself. When you see clearly, you gain the power to set boundaries where needed, to open your heart when it is safe, and to protect your energy when it is at risk. This is not about labeling people. It is about honoring your own journey. So the next time your soul whispers the truth of who someone is, resist the urge to judge them. Instead, simply acknowledge, "This is what I see. This is what I feel." And then, choose with wisdom how you engage. Because clarity is not about casting shadows on others. It is about shining light on your own path. Life is not meant to be lived half asleep. Too often we drift through our days, trusting masks, ignoring intuition, silencing the whispers of our soul. We convince ourselves that words are enough, that appearances are truth. But deep inside, you know this is not the way. You were not born just to survive. You were born to awaken. Every encounter you experience is more than coincidence. That friend who lifts your spirit without effort. That stranger who makes you uneasy even before they speak. That mentor whose presence inspires you to grow. That person whose energy drains you, though they never raise their voice. These are not random moments. They are lessons. Lessons designed to sharpen your awareness, to remind you that your soul always knows more than your mind admits. The wake-up call is this: stop ignoring what you already feel. Stop waiting for proof that your intuition was right. Stop silencing your inner compass just because others don't understand it. Your soul is speaking in every sigh, every shiver, every surge of peace or unease. Trust it, because the longer you deny it, the further you drift from the truth that was always within you. And remember, awakening does not mean living in fear. It means living with clarity. It means knowing when to open your arms wide and when to guard your heart with strength. It means recognizing the silent language of others, not to control them, not to expose them, but to guide yourself wisely in every relationship and every choice. This is your reminder. You are capable of seeing beyond words, beyond masks, beyond illusions. You already carry the gift. The question is, will you use it? Or will you keep pretending that you don't know what you know? The time for doubt is over. This is your moment to rise. Wake up, pay attention. Trust the truth that moves in silence, because every encounter is either calling you to expand your love or to strengthen your boundaries. Both are sacred, both are necessary, and both are proof that without speaking, you already know. So here we arrive at the end of this journey, yet in truth, it is only the beginning. Because the next time you step into a room, the next time you look into someone's eyes, the next time silence hangs between words, you will remember. You will remember that presence speaks louder than sound. That energy tells a story long before the mouth opens, that your intuition has been guiding you all along. Without speaking, people are always revealing who they are, and without trying, your soul is always listening. The question is, are you paying attention? Because this awareness is not about being suspicious of others, nor about finding flaws. It is about reclaiming your power, your clarity, your ability to walk through life awake, not asleep. You deserve to know the truth, not just about others, but about yourself. When you notice the masks people wear, you will also begin to notice your own. And in that recognition lies freedom. The freedom to live more authentically, to choose with more wisdom, to connect more deeply with those who are real, and to set boundaries with those who are not. Do not fear this awareness. It is not a burden, it is a gift. It will not make you cold, it will make you wise. And wisdom, when carried with compassion, becomes the most powerful form of love. Because love without awareness becomes blindness, but love with awareness becomes liberation. So as you leave this moment, carry this truth with you, without words, without explanation. You already know. You know who they are. You know what they bring. And more importantly, you know who you are becoming. Trust this, honor this, walk with it as your compass. And when the world feels noisy, when the masks confuse you, when your mind doubts, return to your center, to your soul, because your soul never lies, and in its quiet certainty, you will always find the way. Stay awake, stay aware, and rise again and again, because you were never meant to remain the same. You were meant to become.